Wow, wow, wow! Ancestors of Chinese were the first Americans.
Breakthrough in peopling of the Americas finds a female lineage from China. A groundbreaking new study has harnessed the power of mitochondrial DNA to trace a marvelous female lineage from northern coastal China all the way to the Americas. This has revealed compelling evidence of not one, but two migrations, during the last ice age, and the subsequent melting period. This discovery challenges previous beliefs about the ancestry of Native Americans and sheds new light on the complicated history of human migration and settlement in the Americas. Coinciding with the timeline of the second migration, is another branch of the same lineage migrating to Japan. This is a potential explanation for Paleolithic archaeological similarities between the Americas, China, and Japan, explains the study published in the latest edition of Cell Reports.
We believed we had all the answers 30 years ago. There are now more questions than answers. According to recent research, some of the first humans in the Americas came from the north coast of China. According to a new genomics research, some of the initial arrivals occurred during the last ice age and shortly thereafter, in two different migrations. People from the north coast of China were among the earliest humans to arrive in the Americas, arriving in two independent migrations during and after the last ice age, according to a new genomics research. Explorers might have arrived in the New World via terrestrial route through an ice-free corridor, although this was most likely not the initial migration. The Kelp Highway theory is the polar opposite of the old ice-free corridor route. The findings suggest that, in addition to the previously identified ancestral sources of Native Americans in Siberia, northern coastal China acted as a genetic reservoir that contributed to the gene pool. According to the researchers, the same lineage of individuals landed in Japan during the second migration, which might help explain parallels in prehistoric arrowheads and spears found in the Americas, China, and Japan. It was originally thought that ancient Siberians, who crossed the Bering Strait between contemporary Russia and Alaska, were the only progenitors of Native Americans. More recent study has indicated that more diversified Asian origins may be linked to an ancient lineage responsible for founding people across the Americas, including Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Ecuador, Mexico, and California. This lineage, known as D4H, is present in mitochondrial DNA, which is only transmitted from mothers and is used to trace maternal origins. The scientists began a 10-year search for D4H, searching through 100,000 modern and 15,000 ancient DNA samples across Eurasia, finally identifying 216 contemporary and 39 ancient people that belong to the ancient lineage. They were able to recreate the D4HS origins and expansion history by studying the mutations that had acquired through time, looking at the geographic locations of the samples, and using carbon dating. Two migratory events were discovered as a result of the findings. The first occurred between 19,500 and 26,000 years ago, during the last glacial maximum, when ice sheet covering was at its peak and northern China's environment was likely hostile. The second happened between 19,000 and 11,500 years ago, during the melting era. Migrations may have been prompted by rising human populations during this time period. During this second migration, scientists discovered an unexpected genetic relationship between Native Americans and Japanese people, notably the indigenous Ainu. According to the study, during the melting era, a subgroup branched out from northern coastal China to Japan, contributing to the Japanese people, a conclusion that corresponds to archaeological connections between ancient peoples in the Americas, China, and Japan. The study's strength was the quantity of samples recovered, plus corroborating evidence from Y chromosomal DNA indicating that Native American male ancestors resided in northern China at the same period as female relatives gave researchers confidence in their conclusions. However, scholars do not know where this expansion happened in northern coastal China or what precise causes prompted these migrations.
Hello friends, we come to the end of the video. Have you subscribed yet? Yes, press the subscribe button and the like button and the share button. Thank you and have a nice day.